Welcome to the channel if you're new, and if you're not, welcome back. My name's Nautica, and today we're going to be reviewing the Leader Class Galvatron Legacy release. This Galvatron's pretty posable with multiple points of articulation all throughout, including the shoulders and bicep and hips and all of the other things, which I will go over eventually. But first I wanted to go over the general aesthetics of the figure. First of all, I do have to note, he did come with a matrix that he would wear like around his chest, and it would plug into here in vehicle mode, but I left that back home, so I do not have that with me. But it is just another matrix for the matrix pile, probably very similar to the one on Earthrise Optimus Prime. He does come with a pair of blasters, whose designs are based off of spaceships that Unicron gave Galvatron, Scourge, and Cyclonus once they were reformatted in the '86 movie. On the box, it is said that they can combine into one big weapon. I think this was a part of the Legacy Evolution Evo Fusion gimmick, which, you know, it's just putting things together, which I guess is what fusion is, but it's not the most original take on the idea. When these blasters are put on his back for storage, it does give the vibes of like a samurai, especially given that head crest. I do know that this version of Galvatron didn't really come with a sword, but it'd be really cool if they did do that for the Legacy or War for Cybertron Kingdom release, given that those aren't supposed to be like the Galvatron. They're a reinterpretation of the design. One unfortunate thing I have noticed, though, is that his purple plastic is very mismatched. The hand is a different shade than the hinge. Well, the hand is a different shade than the hinge that the hand is connected to, which is different from the forearm, which is different from the bicep, which is different from the shoulder joint. It's very distracting, and it might be sun damage, but I highly doubt it, given that it looks like this a day after I got it. And I didn't have the best lighting the day I did get it, so I am fairly certain that it's not sun damage. Obviously, the main accessory he comes with is his big ol' cannon, which I'm not entirely sure what it's called. I know Megatron's is a fusion cannon, but I'm not entirely sure what Galvatron's is. I'll have to look that up at some point. Maybe I'll put it in like the video as like a text blurb. Either way, I love the transparent plastic they're using for the cannon. It's very delectable, for lack of a better term. When it comes to articulation, he has rotation at the head, universal shoulders, which go all the way around and go up that far and down that far, bicep rotation, an elbow with double hinges so it can go almost 180 rotation at the hand, and the gay wrist. Hell yeah. Moving on, we have a slight rotation at the waist. Hip skirts can move out of the way to give room for leg articulation, which is a universal at the hips. And it's very floppy, so beware of that when you're posing him. Knee bend, about 90. And ankle swivels, or pivots, that you could untransform the leg for to get even more. Also, there is thigh rotation. Now that's a pretty neat robot mode, although his right leg is very difficult to get sturdy. He will sometimes fall over if you place him the wrong way, and while he does have heel supports, the heels are always above the ground. Right down there, if it'll focus, you can tell that it's not touching the ground. That is as far down as I can get it to go without it having to be untransformed. But let's get him transformed. And here we have his space gun turret cannon mode. It's definitely not the most accurate to the original 86 movie, but again, that was not this figure's purpose when it was originally released back in War for Cybertron Kingdom. It was meant to be both a new version of the character that also retained similar design philosophies as the original character. And I think that these pieces here add a lot to this cannon barrel. Without it, it kind of looks naked, almost. It is very War for Cybertron greebly, so there's all of these little details on the arms, on the backs of the cannon, right here, on the leg. All of these pieces that are very detailed and can sometimes be a bit overwhelming. You can definitely see the color matching on full display here with how bad it is. This bit is more of like a magenta, while this bit is definitely purple. It's still very confusing and concerning, and I'm just hoping that the plastic stays together. I haven't had any actual problems with this figure as of yet, but it's still very surprising that it changed color so quickly, if it actually changed color at all. All in all, I think this is a pretty definitive Galvatron if you prefer a purple over the Marvel Comics gray or the Studio Series more blue color, which I'm fairly certain is just color picked from a very certain scene in the movie, probably more towards the end when he's fighting Hot Rod back in Unicron's brain, one of those places. Galvatron does pose really well with like any version of Scourge or Cyclonus, really. Although I am kind of regretting getting the Combiner Wars Cyclonus because his purple matches Galvatron's a bit too much. But honestly, I think I might just have to stick with it for a while. Although I do really love that Scourge figure and that Magnus figure at the bottom of the screen. He's really good. Let me know if you want me to review him, too. To summarize, I think this figure's pretty good. I really enjoy his articulation. It's very smooth, and I really enjoy, like, the aura he gives off, even if some people complain about, like, maybe he's a bit too stout or wide or something. My only real issue with him is the fact that the plastic is so mismatched. It just looks bad on the arms, and makes me kind of wish that I had just gone through with it with paint, but I haven't really practiced doing customs yet. Maybe I'll do that at some point. I'm hoping that they fix that issue with the Studio Series redeco, where it's all like a solid color. But hey, at least this one doesn't have battle damage, like the Kingdom one. But that's been my look at the War for Cybertron Kingdom Legacy reissue of Galvatron. And this is Nautica signing off. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.